First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler again. As always, appreciate you joining us. I say it every time, but I really do mean it. And right now we're talking about something we've been covering here over the last couple of weeks. This is leading up to October 2nd, which is the Oregon Charity Championship at the Oregon Golf Club. And this is going to be a huge golf tournament taking place with 30 plus nonprofits all competing for some really amazing prizes, but also to just bring more awareness of what they're doing here for the communities. There's a lot of really amazing nonprofits that are a part of this, and we're getting to talk to quite a few of them from that. And right now, we are going to be talking to the Serendipity Center, talking about K-12 education and everything that goes along with that. There's so much to cover here, and that's why, Mark Takahara, it's really good to have you on here to talk about this, Executive Director of the Serendipity Center. And, you know, Mark, I thought maybe we could start off here. Could you give us just an explainer of the center and then maybe a little bit of the backstory of it as well?
Sure. Serendipity Center is Oregon's only nonprofit accredited therapeutic school of excellence. So what we do is we serve students in grades K through 12 from over 22 local public school districts ranging from Northwest Oregon to Southwest Washington. We've been doing this since 1979.
Wow, 1979. So this has been clearly something that's helped out a lot of people over that time. When you mentioned, you know, working with these or with the different school districts that are involved, can you explain how that works?
Sure. For one reason or another, if anybody has children, they probably can remember in classrooms, there's always that one or two students that for some reason or another just wasn't a good fit for that classroom. So we know that those students need some type of special care, perhaps a therapeutic component that's involved with their education. And that's why these school districts then recommend their students to come to Serendipity Center, because we do have that unique component of not only offering a traditional education, but also having therapeutic components such as a therapeutic garden. We have a speech and language pathologist on staff. Then we also have art therapy too that we offer our students.
Wow, and that's like you mentioned, you know, there are sometimes the kids who it's just like this isn't working out right. So that's so great that there's something, you know, that they would be able to be involved in. So with these different school districts, so they make a recommendation, and then how does it work from there? How does the student potentially end up there at Serendipity?
Yep. So the districts will then meet with their parents. They'll talk to that student's parents or guardian about options that are available. And one of those options is Serendipity Center. If they agree to attend Serendipity Center, then what we have is we have our own internal admissions team that will then meet with that student support staff at their public school district. They'll come up with a plan of education of what are some of the things they need to work with, both with the parents, the guardians, the teachers, and also our staff. And that's how we bring them on board here at Serendipity. Our goal here is not to have the students stay with us their entire educational career, even though sometimes we do have students that graduate from Serendipity with either a traditional diploma or a modified diploma, but we really want to be able to return those students to their home districts.
Gotcha. And you mentioned this is K through 12, so really it could be all kinds of ages in there, but they're going there. You want to eventually have them go back to their home school district. So while they're at Serendipity, do they still live at home, or is there on site? How does that work?
Yeah, so they still do work at home. Whatever their home public school district that student is in will then provide transportation for them to come to Serendipity. So, you know, sometimes that's a long bus ride. It could be up to an hour and a half because we serve students from Beaverton, Hillsborough, Clark County, Camas, and we're located here in Southeast Portland.
Yeah, so that could be a while, but that's great though that the transportation's provided, so they go there for the day and then go back home. Well, let's get into some of the things that you do there, you know, to help out some of these students. You mentioned, you know, there was a therapeutic garden, and I know on the website there's a lot of different things that it explains and goes through, but could you give us a bit of an overview of that, of what kinds of ways that you help out these students?
Sure. Each student receives a lot of support here at Serendipity. It's a lot different than public school systems where you might have 20 to 30 students per classroom. At Serendipity Center, we max out at 10 students per classroom, and many of those students within those classrooms also have a one-to-one continuous support person that's with them throughout the day. So it really is about that individualized attention that we're able to give our students. And again, not only are we offering them that traditional education, but also those extra things that they might need to help them be successful that just for one reason or another isn't offered in the public school system. So each of our students have case managers. They do have those therapeutic programs that we offer. We also have a transition program because we know that not every student is going to go to a 4 or 2 year college. So we want to make sure that they're also prepared with skills to be able to take with them in other areas after they graduate and leave Serendipity.
Looking at it, and again, K through 12, we mentioned that part. So all kinds of different ways that you can help them out, I'm sure, depending on what the age range is. But something else I wanted to bring up is, you mentioned this is since 1979. So obviously a long time helping out in providing that service to the community. I am interested over the last few years, especially with COVID and just changes in the world and our surroundings. How have you seen the needs change over these last few years?
If anything, unfortunately, there are more needs for our services. COVID and distance learning had a huge negative impact on a lot of students and their families. So a lot of students are still getting adjusted being back in classrooms. They're behind educationally, socially. So that's why programs like Serendipity do offer an alternative program than their public school systems. But we've definitely seen a drastic impact that COVID has had on our students and also their families.
How many students do you generally service?
Generally, we serve between 100 and 105 students, but because we do have a staffing shortage of educational professional staff, that's something industry-wide right now, our enrollment is a little bit lower than in previous years, but our goal is always to serve around that 100 mark.
And looking at it, with different ways that you're able to, I guess, help out these students around that 100 mark, how do you obtain your funding for something like this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are a private school, but we are a nonprofit school. So about 85% of our funding does come from those contracts where we contract out with the school district. So for each student that comes to us, their contract covers about 85% of our costs. So unfortunately, the other 15% we need to make up internally. So we do have a fundraising and development department. We also have an annual gala that's going to be taking place in May. Where we get the community together and then we celebrate our students. We have a bunch of great funders and supporters like On Point Credit Union, Fox 12, Pacific Office Automation. So we're very grateful for those supporters that we have to be able to help us close that gap between the 85% that we get from the school districts and the other 15% that we make up internally.
Well, speaking of that, there is what I mentioned at the beginning, the Oregon Charity Championship coming up on October 2nd. And of course, Serendipity will be one of the organizations competing in that tournament. So with the prize money, there's some pretty good prizes in this. I think $50,000 in prizes total, but that 25 grand, top prize there. If you were to get that, what would you do with that money?
Yeah, we would definitely want to invest it in our therapeutic programs because that's what we feel makes us different and really what attracts all of our public school partners to send their students here. So again, programs like our therapeutic learning minds, our Growing Minds Garden, like our art program, our speech and language program, because we know that the students that we serve here at Serendipity, it's difficult for them to sit in a classroom for 6 to 7 hours a day. So they need to be able to get out, utilize some of that extra energy, go to the garden, get their hands dirty, pick some fruit or vegetables and do some harvesting and some weeding, or go to the transition room and learn a new recipe to cook, because that's what we really are focused on, is giving these students the opportunity to succeed, not only in the classroom, but also in other aspects of their life.
Which is huge. I mean, that is, as you mentioned, other aspects of their life. This is setting it up for everything for them. How does it feel, for you going to work here every day and doing this and seeing maybe a student who was having these issues, wasn't doing well in ordinary classes, and then you're providing this and you see that change? How does that feel for you personally when you see that happen?
It's inspiring. I mean, this is the reason why we do this work. And just to really share a quick story, is we had a student that just graduated with us that was here with us for her last 2 years of high school. And when she came in to Serendipity, she was very shy, didn't want to talk to anybody, had some anger issues, a lot of anxiety, and she just graduated with us over the summer and wanted to pursue a career in cosmetology. So luckily, one of our strong corporate partners is with Sephora, and they were able to give her an opportunity to actually go to their Washington Square mall on a busy Friday afternoon, and she interacted with customers. She interacted with all their customer service representatives. So to be able to see that drastic change that she made from when she first came to us to where now she really wants to pursue that career in cosmetology, very inspiring.
Yeah, that is not something where you're going to be able to be shy and not interact with people if you're going to something as busy as that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, What else would you like to let people know about? Because that's the other thing that we want to do as a platform here to talk about, your work. What else would you like the general public to know about Serendipity?
Yeah, we just want to be able to share our story and our mission with the general public. Even though that we have been serving students since 1979, we always feel that we're kind of the best kept secret in the educational world in Portland, and that the programs like Serendipity is much needed in the community, and especially after COVID and a lot of the things that are occurring right now. Programs like this, we know that not every student is built to be successful in the public school setting. That they might just need some of that extra support and extra help, and that's what we're here to do.
Well, Mark, I want to say thank you very much, for joining us. I guess one other question too: are you going to be participating in the tournament personally?
No, I won't be participating because if golf was the winner was the highest score, I'd be Dame Lillard out there on the golf course. But unfortunately, that's not me. But we have two of our very dedicated, longtime volunteers that are going to be participating in that golf tournament, and hopefully giving us a fighting chance to take some of that purse.
Nice. Yeah, you wouldn't want me out there either, so I totally understand. Well, Mark, thank you very much for joining us here to talk about this and just talk about the work that you do with the community here with Serendipity Center and providing people some more insight too of all this valuable stuff that you're doing for all of these students.
Great. Thank you so much, Greg. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And thanks too to everybody joining us here for Fox 12 Now, again, live every weekday, 1 p.m., but then throughout the afternoon as well. If there's breaking news, I want to remind everybody that if something big goes on and it's in between our regular newscasts, our noon one, so 1 to 4, this is where to go. So join us right here and we will have whatever up-to-date information we can provide. But otherwise, we have some amazing interviews. We get to learn about a lot of things here on the show. Sometimes it's deeper dives on news stories you've seen. Sometimes we're learning about partners in the community like Serendipity. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. I'm going to sign off for right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.